Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G Bear Homesteading the Desert. And today is November 26, 2018. Look down here at my okra. Every single one of them is sprouted now. All right, I put those in 1123. Now here's the package that I used, the seeds I used. And I want to show you something here. In the green lettering on the top right side, it says sow in an average well-worked soil. Okay, it says down towards the bottom, it says plants emerge in 14 to 21 days. Okay, so in 3 days, my plants are emerging already. So this is a good method of sprouting seeds, is what my point is. If you want any specifics on that, I'll let you know. But also, using the rainwater with a perfect pH has been helping a lot too, because I'm going to step aside here and I'll show you back there. Look at my radishes and my beets. They're really coming up well. They're loving it back there. And they're not getting full sun. They're getting ambient sunlight inside this cabin. So when they get a little bit larger, if I notice that they need a little bit more sun, I will actually put a grow lamp up here. I have a couple of grow lamps somebody gave me that are sitting in the container. I just have to dig them out, and we'll go from there. All right. Weather has been behaving today. The winds have been calm. It's mid-60s, and just pretty good. High pressure's in right now. Now, this morning's weather on the TV said that we should expect rain Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they said anywhere from a half an inch to 2 inches in some places. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get that much down here, but I'm getting ready for it. And one of the things I did was I had to drain off this barrel because the water was full of algae, but I also had to put in a hose bib spout at the bottom so that I can drain it more easily. I have been siphoning the water out of there, but then with the algae floating in it, it was plugging up the siphon hose. So I put the valve on the bottom there, and I've got a pressure sprayer on my garden hose here. I can reach in there tomorrow and hose all of that algae off and get that out of there. I also had to come around here, and this barrel had the same problem going with it. But the other thing is that even with the extra water, the rainwater I just captured, most of it had leaked out because I had one of those two-eared flanges down there with RTV silicone holding it up against the barrel, and it was leaking. Every single one of those types of connections leak, so I don't recommend using a gasket type seal against these things. I pulled it apart. I found some fittings that I could reduce it down to ½ inch, and I got my pipe threads out and I threaded the barrel and put it all back together again. So it won't leak anymore. It's all set there. All right, the other thing I did today was, because the rains are coming, I had to do some more digging where my tank is going for my gray water. And I've got the hole pretty deep now, but I got to go a foot deeper to be able to hold my tank. And then I've got to go all the way back to that ridge right there at the same depth, and that's going to be my tank. I was going to put in a 250-gallon tank here, but I decided to go with a 600-gallon because that's going to make it a little less pressure to constantly be pumping the water out of there. I can store up more water at a time. And I may do a couple of rain catching units here and pipe them into that thing so that I can add extra water to it. So the bigger the tank, the better I'll be. All right, the blocks here are just holding my pipes down, so if I nudge it with the bucket while I'm digging in here with my ATV bucket, I don't snap that pipe off. I don't want to have to go through repairing that. So I did pull a bunch of extra dirt out here. You can see right here. All this dirt came out of that hole. And I have to keep building the ramp down a ways so that I'm not facing straight on down when I'm digging. So I brought my electric jackhammer out here, my 60-pound, with a spade bit on it. That's a 6-inch wide spade bit. And I broke up all that hard ground down there because I couldn't even chip it with the bucket. And my auger was just bouncing off of it. So a gas-powered auger wouldn't go through it. I wasn't going to get it with the bucket. So the jackhammer did it. I just start down here and I just break it and back up the slope and keep going back until I get enough to pull two full buckets out. I scoop that out and then I do it again. So this only took me about maybe 3 hours to get a foot deeper at this location. But now, instead of having a big hump in the middle where the water was that was coming out from my sink and everything was sitting behind it, now the water can run over to the other side and help soften the ground over there. So that might make it a little easier to take a few scoops out too. All right, everything in the garden house is doing just peachy dandy and growing like it should be. The girls have all been fed and watered and cleaned, and they gave me 5 eggs today. So I told them that they were good girls for that, and I gave them a little extra greens. I had some green onion tops, and I cut those up, and boy, did they love those. Okay, other than that, I did work on the tarp, and I'm still moving a little bit slow, but the gout in the ankle is doing a heck of a lot better. Yesterday it was bearable. Just a bear joke. Yeah, so I'm still moving a little slow, but hang in with me and we'll get around here. All right, what I did here was I added one more clip on the tarp right where that seam goes up, and then I pulled that down tight up against the hand truck here, and I got 3 buckets because the water might come out and spread out a little bit, but most of it comes off right there to the left of the clip and goes right into the white bucket. And you'll see I might got my cup down there and a cup of water down in the bottom of the bucket. So that'll work, but if the rains are heavy and it spreads out a little bit, I put 2 other buckets here to catch some more of that. All right, that's about it. I've had the ATV out, so I've got to get ready to put it back in after tomorrow because the rains are supposed to start the day after that. And we'll see how much rain I catch on this next trip. Beautiful day out here. I'll give you a look around. The skies are just a little bit cloudy, a little bit of geoengineering going on up there, and clear as can be. Fresh, clean, crisp air. Clean as can be out here. Just love it. Oh yeah, down there at the chicken coop, you'll notice I put some handles on the doors. I got one on each side door and one in the middle. The moisture has caused those doors to swell a little bit. So sometimes I have trouble getting them open, just holding on to the little window latches that I use to latch them shut. So I had those 3 handles that come from some sliding glass doors I installed a few years back. I saved those handles that came fastened on a temporary carry handles, and they came in handy. I had 3 of them left, and that's where they went. That's all for today, everybody. Beautiful day, beautiful weather, nice and quiet. And oh, before I forget, apparently the squatters over there, or one of the guys, doesn't have any respect for other people's property. So I caught him walking right out here across the property this morning, and I stared him down, and he decided to leave, and he headed off that direction, then went back over to his camper, got in his truck, and drove down one of the dirt roads. So I don't know what he was doing, but he was bending over, picking things up, and then tossing them well, I don't want that. So he might have been looking for rocks and stuff. But I don't like the idea of somebody just cutting across without asking permission. So I got 4 no trespassing signs, and I put one at each one of the 4 corners of the 20 acres here. And I got one over there on the back road, one over there on the corner, and one over there on where the survey stake is, right along the side of the road. And then I got the other one on the other side of the road, because this property goes 200 feet past the this side of the dirt road that comes in. And that's 200 feet on this side, but only 100 feet on that side. And I found those, I found the survey stakes over there, so I put my signs just on the inside of the survey stakes so that they can be seen. That's about all. Don't forget, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up down there and send in your comments. I'm going to make one more quick stop over here at the table before I go, because I did have a question about what kind of screws I use to hold the brackets for my shelving inside the containers. Well, this is what I use. Self-drilling lath screws, and these are the number 8 by 1/2 inch. This is a number 8 by 3/4 inch, but as you can see, it's got a little drill tip on the end. So if you put that on your screw gun and you apply some pressure and get it spinning, it'll drill a hole and then thread right into the hole it drilled. It's perfect little design. These work great. If you want a smaller head, you can also use 7/16. I think they're number 6 by 7/16, and they're black. They're called metal stud screws for putting together metal studs. I don't like using them on my metal studs because the heads are too high. I use this type on my metal studs because the heads are flatter and it doesn't bulge out the drywall everywhere there's a screw. But they do work great on hanging brackets for shelving. I hope that helps you out. G Bear signing off.